do it like that.
Y'all watching another episode of Highly Respected with yours truly, Miss Streetz. And I have a very talented artist, MC, producer. He probably got other hats, but we're going to talk about later. But Nutso, what's good?
What's good, y'all? What's popping?
Yes, Nutso is here with me. So first
Yeah,
off, I want to start and say,
thanks for having me.
of course, you're welcome. So I was on my TikTok thing, and that's how I came across you. So I saw you making beats. I listened to a couple of your beats. I was like, oh, he fire. And then when
I
I
love
found out you was from Queens, I was like, oh, I definitely got to put him on my platform for sure. So talk about your name real quick. We got to talk about the name before we get into everything else. How'd you come up with the name Nutso and what does it mean?
Well, Nutso actually comes from the name Peanut. That was my name in the neighborhood growing up in Queens and in Flushing and Corona. You know, two towns, same borough.
Right.
So my family, yeah, my whole that's where our zone is at.
Nice.
And growing up in the hood, you know how everybody got the peanut in the hood, but I was the peanut in the hood that rap. I used to beatbox, like I kept hip hop and my community, like at let me say like a landslide, like from open mics to everything. I was always going around. So the
Mhm.
name Peanut actually came from my man Larry back in junior high school. He used to call me Peanut. He was like, "Yo, Nut, you remind me the other nut." I was like, "Man, there's only one Peanut, man." And from there, I kept going. That was like when I was like 10, 11 years old.
Mhm.
And then I transitioned to Nutrageous,
Mhm.
which that was my rap name.
Mhm.
Started about 98, 99.
Mhm.
And well, we'll get into that later on, but went on tour, did my thing, got locked up, came home, I had a transition. Nutrageous. I spelled it different, but the patent and trademark were Reese's.
Right.
They were they were on us over that.
Mhm.
So we had to put the dash, and I was like, just to put the NUT dash rages, I was like, man, listen, I'm nuts, so I'm wild for the night. You know what I'm saying? One of Queen's finest. Let's get it. Let's keep it nice, short, and sturdy and solid. You get it? So
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
stayed with Nutso. I've been Nutso for a lot of years, but on paper, like as far as lawyers and everything been behind it since 2007, 2008.
Gotcha. Cool. So I guess that you were a rapper first and then you started producing. Is that
Yeah,
accurate?
yeah, right.
Okay. So you did say, you used to do beatboxing. Did that lead you to say, hey, listen, I want to start making my own beats?
Yeah, well, actually, what happened, me growing up, I was always hearing like waves, very galactic. Like I was always into space, and I love the war. I always, I've been in tune with Mother Earth for a long time, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm very spiritual
Mhm.
and always had them sounds traveling in my head. And plus, growing up in Queens, I before moving to Flushing, I lived in Corona.
Mhm.
So one of Coogee Rap and DJ Polo's mans lived right on my block on 102 and 37. So while people were watching Coogee Rap and DJ Polo with the white Benz and Ill Street Blues and all of that on Yo MTV Raps and Video Music Box, I was actually watching them pass by my block. So
Wow.
it was, yeah, yeah,
Right.
it was vivid. So from that point on, I just took off. It was a
Right.
wrap.
So is it, would you say they kind of inspired you to start rapping, or you already was doing that prior to seeing Coogee rap and other
No,
people?
yeah, that was the early age. That was when I was like 8, 9 years old. But just seeing them, that influence, my cousins DJing, they had Pumas that were like, size 10. Here I am, a little kid. I'm trying them on. I'm putting on the Kangos, the chains, trying to
Right.
get into the hip hop thing. Dominican kid growing up in Queens with all my Puerto Rican and blacks. Those are my brothers, man. And we were in this shit since day one. And growing up in my hood in Flushing, well, in Corona, I was already beatboxing
Mhm.
and didn't really know how to write rhymes like that. But when I went to school, me and my boy Bamboo, and shout out to KS, they wrote actually one of my first rhymes.
Mm.
I didn't like the feeling of it. I was like, but that's how he feels. And I got to tell him how I feel now. I want to let the world know how I feel.
Right.
And then I started writing my own lyrics. But that transition when I moved to Flushing, I mean, MCs were elite. We were like 13, 14 years old. Remember Mike Geronimo, all these dudes was out, Large Pro, but I didn't know them during that time. I was still young. And seeing them do their thing, and made us in our projects and our side, because we from Latimer, you know, Union Street and Parsons, we from the north side of Flushing. And seeing them do their thing, we had to step our game up because nobody was screaming out our hood.
Right.
And now I moved from Corona, so now it's like, I ain't a Corona dude anymore. I'm from Flushing. You know
right.
But my family was still from there. But, you know, that's the topsy turvy. We always went back and forth. But just in that group and ciphers that we had in my neighborhood, a lot of dudes, man, I'm going to be honest, Miss Streetz, they were lazy. So talented, but they were lazy. And that's what made me pick up the mic. I was like, yo, I could do this too. And a couple of people started throwing that battery. They were like, yo, Nut.
Right.
Fuck that beatboxing, bro. Like you could really, like you could really rap. Yeah. And then I stayed with the lyrics, stayed with the poetry. I started going to the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I found myself, and the rest is history. But as far as beatboxing, doing beats has always been in me. But I was scared. I wasn't computer savvy. Every time I looked at that machine, I was like, oh, nah, I'd rather do the rapping thing.
Right. So let's talk about the artist side a little bit more. So you have a record, WIGN. Talk about that real quick, what it means, what it stands for.
Well, WIGN stands for The World's Going Nutso. It was going to be crazy, but my name is Nutso, insane, you know, self-explanatory. So we changed it. It was produced by my partner, Cedar Cuban. Shout out to Cedar Cuban, Cuba on the beat. He produced that. And we came about that joint. Obviously, everybody's going through it in the world. The world is changing. It's doing like a whole 360 and in seconds. You know what I'm saying? From the pandemic 2020. Look where we at right now. Like soon the box is going to be running the world. So I felt like I need to spread the message. I had another song before that called Secret War COVID-19, where I'm calling out the government on all that social engineering and how they got us programmed and all this, you know, racism. and listen, man, we're going through a lot. As the human race, we're going through a lot.
Definitely are. All right, so let's bring it back to the producer side. So you were talking about you a little bit nervous when it comes to computers and stuff like that. So I was gonna ask you, do you like digital or analog? But I think I kind of got an idea. But what?
Yeah, you see what I'm at.
Yeah. But I'm saying, so for you, do you feel like the digital part of the producing softwares they have now make it a little bit too easy for producers? What do you think? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like I want to be hands-on, man. So, for instance, I'm not going to mention the producer's name. He's not really known like that crazy, but I was in the studio. This was last year, and he told me, once we bring the MPC to the studio, because we wanted to do this live showcase, he was like, how do y'all mess with that machine, bro? Like, you know, he'd rather do the keyboard thing. But for me, just growing up and in this hip hop and looking at I mean, you got to take it back to the days with Quincy Jones and Tom Petty and all. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the machines that we're using. It was all analog. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They didn't have any of that. So
none of that. Yeah, taking it back to them, and then producers in our genre, like let's say in our generation, meaning like, you know, the DJ Premiers and all of them, they were using the SB1200s, you know, RZA, you know, MPC. So that's what had me gravitated to always have that. Just looking at those pads on the machine, like you know, my father plays the conga, so it's in my blood, you know.
Nice. Cool.
So I always wanted to be hands-on with it. Like I never wanted the computer to do the job for me. So
yeah. So who's some of your favorite producers?
Oh man, I got so many, man. But I'm gonna be honest, right now, I'm gonna just keep it in a short list. I'm gonna say from Lord Finesse, Swiss Beats, Havoc from Mobb Deep, DJ Premier, RZA. Ooh, man, let me take it. Oh, man. It's so many mysteries.
So, listen, you named,
I'm
you named like the top five, really, to be honest. So, I
yeah,
mean,
and I can even throw Timberland in there. You know, Scott Storch. There's so many, man. These guys are so dope, and
that's
even on
lit.
the underground, you know what I'm saying? We could take it to the underground as well, too. So,
Right, right. That's what's up. So, speaking of producers, do you feel like producers get enough, I would say, credit or acknowledgement? Of course, everybody know who's the artist is all the time, and people, they dance to the beat, but then they're not really concerned about who made the beat. So, what's your thoughts with producers not really getting that much, I would say, credit, or how do you think they can stand out more?
I think it's communication, man. Because I noticed that even us as artists, like when a producer, like for instance, see Miss Streetz, behind the scenes, we was talking like we don't even got to talk about promotion. I'm on it.
Right.
Some actually got to reach out like, yo, we just did this interview. You haven't even posted nothing. And that's the same thing with producers. I think they get overwhelmed and discouraged with these artists that they go so hard to give them these beats and have everything in preparation for them. And they put out the single. Sometimes they don't even put their names in the credits, don't even big them up.
True.
And me as an artist, I know that feeling. So I wouldn't want to do that to another artist. So I look at producers as an artist, just like a dancer, a singer, we all in the same fucking category. So people seem to forget us like the DJ. Like they wouldn't be an MC without a DJ. Just going back to hip hop, the late 70s, the early 80s, like that's what it was all about. Like people didn't even care about the rapper. You know that, Mr.
Yeah.
Because the DJ's gonna get the party started and it's gonna end it.
Exactly. Right.
He's gonna go there. He's gonna speak his life experiences. He'll do a little chorus. Hey, the oohs and the ahs, but the DJs will get the party started, man.
Definitely. So, what's your creative process like as the artist Nutso, as the producer Nutso? How does that work? Like when you're in the studio, do you like people there? You like to be by yourself when you're producing? Is it certain times of the day, or it's just off of inspiration?
Yeah, well, I definitely go by vibrations. I usually like to invite people to the studio that actually participated in the past. You know what I'm saying? Always supported the movement. And if we're gonna do like a cameo or a feature, that's what we'll rent out a bigger studio so people could lounge, and if they want to bring their peoples, they could do their thing. But usually when I'm working on a project or a single or whatever, I like to go to the studio either with the producer or my partner C the Cuban or any of the new artists I'm working with, like Rob P and Thorough Birdie. But we always keep it a little intimate. You know what I'm saying? I've been through it already.
Right, exactly.
Invited everybody and their mother. And it's like, you get stuff done, but you could have got more done if you ain't bring the entourage. I'm just being honest. As an artist, that's my experience. If you're going to go work on a joint where there's multiple features on it, yeah, make it a party. You know what I'm saying? Rent out a big studio and have fun. But if you're working on your personal stuff, it's better for you to just be there, you, the engineer, and whoever you're working with, in the team.
Gotcha. That's what's up. So what's your end goal with being an artist, a producer? Of course, people who's in the guys who's in the NBA, their end goal is to win the championship. Of course, football players, they want to win the Super Bowl. What is your end goal as far as, or what's your accomplishment, or what's something that you're trying to
do? Well, listen, Miss Streetz, I never been signed to a major label. Didn't even sign to an independent label. We always been independent. I was traveling the world at 18, 19 in Sweden, Spain, Japan, on tour with Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep, the Beatnuts, without no machine. So I look at it as, damn, look at my journey. I didn't even have a machine backing me up, and I made it this far. And I have songs with everybody and their mother, like your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, without even having to give them money, Miss Streetz. So it was just off of the strength of me being a real street dude and doing this real hip hop shit for real. Like I didn't like they didn't bring me in the industry and I had this, labels mold me.
Right, right.
They knew I was speaking from the heart. They know I was real. I was humble, and I came correct, man. And I'm connected in the streets. Like you could go to my hood, and the same thing I'm telling you in this interview, people are boomerang that right back.
Right. That's good. That's
You
love then.
right. So my goal is actually to let people know that I slept on myself as a producer, and here I am. I got 2 years knocking out joints, and people been buying beats. I came out with like 3 singles produced by me, an album that I did with this famous artist in Spain named Mesui, and that was a Spanglish project, where I show my diverse, skills as I can rap in Spanish as well too. So all of that right there to me are my flowers right now. I feel like it. Everybody's giving me my flowers. I got platinum producers, man, from icons, legends, from Large Professor to SB Killer to Mighty Vic, Juju from the Beatnuts. I mean, you name it. Telling me nut. Keep going. I just went to Vinny Idol's studio the other day. He was like, yo, these beats. I was like, I just started. He was like, yo, bro, keep going. Them shit's out. So that's the battery on my back right now. I'm still going to be pulling out singles and working on projects, Miss Streetz, but I'm just concentrating on these beats and these new artists, man. I want to give them that Nutso flavor,
Definitely. That's what's up. So what's next? What can we expect? What are you working on?
Well, right now we're working on DJ. Shout outs to DJ Sin, rest in peace, Rock Raider. The legendary X-Men DJ crew. DJ Sinister's from Queens.
Definitely.
Joined the team, so now it's me, Kuba on the beat, and DJ Sinister. Man, the world is in trouble.
That's nice right there.
Yeah, and he's working on his album. Cuban is working on his album, and I'm working on the album. And listen, I'm calling everybody up. I need a joint from y'all produced by, you know what I'm saying? I need a little 16 bar, 24 bar, 8 bar produced by Nutso. And I know they ain't gonna let me down, bro. These are my brothers in hip hop, so they got me, man. Shout out to everybody I've been working with too, as well, man.
Speaking of shout outs, go ahead and give your shout outs to key people, day ones, people you met later on, everybody who's just been riding for you.
Yeah, well, listen. First and foremost, shout outs to C the Cuban, man. That's my partner right there. We done traveled the world. We've been through blood, sweat, and tears, man. You already know. Every trial and tribulation you can think of. But we still here, man. Shout outs to Cuban. Shout outs to Mike Deuce. Shout outs to DJ Sinister, the twins. They always riding with me. Rob P, we working on his album. Watch out. Up and coming artist from Flushing, Queens. Thorough Birdie. Shout outs to my Swan family. Thorough Birdie on the come up. Representing Jersey and from the hoods to the woods, the Poconos. So we're working on the project, and yeah, man, that's basically it right now, Miss Streetz, man. Everybody else, listen, I came out with this mixtape a couple of years back. It's called Western Union. Dr. Dre's cousin produced on this, Warren G. So I got a production for Warren G. I got Nipsey Hussle on this. I got The Game on this. I mean, listen, man.
I ain't listened to that. Now I have to listen to it as soon as we finish.
yeah, that's Western Union. That project to this day, people like, yo, Nut, I thought you was from California, bro, when I heard that shit.
That's what's up. Now I got something to listen to today. So thank you for that. Yeah.
Cypress Hills, Corrupt. Shout out to E40. E40's on this. I got the legends on this, man.
I would say you got the best of the West.
Miss Streetz, we didn't have to break no bread, man. You know how crazy that is? It was like, I got you. You're doing your thing. It's so dope, man. Definitely. So that's the love that's the flowers that I get right there, just from having these artists and like Prodigy, man. Rest in peace, Prodigy. I did one of the last videos and songs with him like a month and a half before he passed away. Wow. Rest in peace, P, man. Mobb Deep.
Yes, definitely. Rest in peace, Prodigy. Definitely a talent. Gone too soon. So Nutso, before you go, please drop your Instagram, Twitter, whatever you have, YouTube, so people can support, download, and if they need beats, they can hit you up and all that good stuff.
Yes, well, everything you can catch me as at Nutso PPM, Peter, Paul, Mary. You heard Nutso, Nutso PPM. Everything at Twitter, Facebook, IG, yo, Mama House. I mean, I'm everywhere, baby.
That's nice. That's what's
You
up.
catch me
So,
everywhere. Hit me up. I got my link tree. DM me. I'm always posting, always promoting, man. You can go to my Bandcamp, just see my whole catalog. You can pick up this as well, Western Union. My Rest Sunday project. I got so many EPs and albums, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Y'all just gotta go to my Bandcamp. Go to Nutso PPM, or just listen. If you forgot the PPM, just Google Nutso, man. I'm
right.
not hard to find.
They'll find you definitely. So,
Yeah, couple of
Nutso,
cats, but I'm number one, and you'll see.
yeah. Well, thank you so much, Nutso, for taking the time to talk to me and talk to the people, letting them know who you are exactly for those who don't know, and everything you've accomplished so far and everything that you will be doing in the future. So thank you so
Yeah,
much. And I wish you nothing but the best, definitely.
thank you. I'm here, man. You see it. You see
Yes,
it. The
working,
MPC
working.
is on, baby. We working. We working, man. Nutso Queen. Shout out to the whole Flushing, Corona, my Swans, the whole family. We out here, man. Nutso.